Chief Kitzmiller of the Marion Iowa Police Department sitting right there. The date on this letter is December 8th, 2022. The date of the meeting is December 1st, 2022. And on December 27th, 2023, I had a conversation with Lieutenant Fulford, and I actually handed him this letter, trying to get to the bottom of what's really going on here. Number one, I talked about an officer being dishonest and being racist. Number two, I talked about more racism. Number three, I talked about racism too. On number four, we talked about license plates. And number five, the money they stole on the records request. Now, I didn't just talk about the racism. I brought in a television with an unredacted body camera straight from the Lynn County Attorney's Office. Like, it wasn't edited, and I literally showed Chief Kitzmiller, this is what your officers are doing on the street. And while I don't have time to talk about all these, I'm going to talk about number four in a little more detail due to time constraints. On December 1st, I told Mike Kitzmiller after the meeting that the narrative he gave me is just not true. You know, he basically brushed it off, and I reported 2 license plates of police violating the law. Months later, I filed a complaint about number 88, card 88, and it just shows that the narrative that Kitzmiller is putting on the table, it's either true or it's false. It's very simple. Like, you know, these cops are either driving expired tags or they're not. And the fact that he's lying about not just a couple things, but every single thing in this letter, it makes you wonder, what is the motivation for the lie? Like, you're clearly trying to deceive me, and it shows that he's trying to cover up what the Marion Police Department does. Another thing that I'm going to be submitting to you guys today, this paper, it's a little more clear when it's on the screen. So this photo is of David Neville with 2 black eyes. He is actually a fully disabled elderly man, and it's really sad to see somebody with 2 black eyes. And while Michael Kitzmiller did not throw the punch with his hand, it was a trespass right here in this city hall. It was malicious prosecution and bogus charges right here in this city hall, right from the Marion Iowa Police Department. And when Dan went to court to support his son against the bogus charges, Dan not only walked out of there with 2 black eyes from Lynn County Sheriff's Department, but he also did 12 days in jail with no warning, had no idea. You know, it was condemned and another bogus charge. And when they got out of jail, they just dropped the charges. So there's no conversation about why did he do 12 days in jail? Why did he have 2 black eyes? There's no conversation. And the violence, guys, you know, take a look at this picture. You know, it's just so horrible to see a young police officer in his 20s or 30s going after a fully disabled man. You know, it's almost like the type of, like going after somebody in a wheelchair, you know, like that's just bad karma, you know, and it's just horrible that you guys are aware that this trespassing garbage and all the bogus charges, you know, you guys know about the violence, you know the way you destroy people's lives, and you have the ability to clean up this department. You have an ability to meet with me or somebody else and go over these body cams from Lynn County Attorney's Office. So this has been going on for years, guys, and it's not gonna stop, you know. News is going to start reporting on it over and over again. I've been over the lawsuits, you guys have seen them. You just really need to clean up the corruption in the Marion Iowa Police Department. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Anyone else here to address council, please come forward.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you for the inactive city council members, and sincerely, you guys are doing the work for our town and our community. My name is Nash Brown, and I speak for myself. I represent a nonprofit, legal assistance with public learning commitment. And before I start rambling, I'd like to just give a shout out to the Parks and Rec guy, Brett. I was just over at Star Park, seeing what you guys did over there with that soccer enclosure. just thought that was really cool. So thank you for that. So I'm here and I'm speaking on a legal nonprofit, and it's a new one. And what brought me here and what brought me to devote my time and energy into this is had to do with the divorce, and it was a bad divorce. There was a magistrate involved named Kristen Lisa Denninger. She is part of our 6th district. I had the unfortunate opportunity of meeting her at the in-laws house in 2019. And then in 2020, I get divorced. In 2019, I was introduced to her by the mother-in-law as, "This is my longtime friend." And then they made a joke stating, "Better not screw up or we'll have your ass." Unfortunately, me and my wife did not be able to make amends, and we got a divorce. And that started 2 days after the derecho. And while she abandoned the property, me and my 9-year-old daughter were forced to leave our house. I don't know if you guys remember the derecho. There wasn't many places to rent or to stay in. Without anywhere to go, I thought the only place to protect my daughter would be to take her back to our abandoned property. And upon our return, I got arrested. And I got arrested over and over again for trying to save my company, for trying to get personal belongings for my daughter and for myself. And every warrant was issued by this magistrate. To say she's mentally unfit is an understatement, and she's still sitting magistrate to this day. There's been complaints filed with the Civil Rights Commission Board, the Judicial Qualifications Commission Board, and nobody seems to care. So I want to kind of talk about preclusion, and preclusion is the action of preventing something from happening. The synonyms of preclusion is impediment and inhibitor, just to name a couple. So to prevent future incidents from happening with this mentally unstable magistrate, I believe that we need to take action. The proof is in the phone records for if anybody interested, if any one of our city council members has subpoena power. US Cellular is where we can find the records and the connection between the mother-in-law and our city magistrate, Kristen Denninger. To say the least, what I've lost is a lot. I lost the relationship with my kids. I lost my company that I've owned and operated for 7 years. I lost my reputation, and I lost the last 3 years of my life. The only thing I could do was to leave Iowa to just get some control over this situation, and that's what I did. And then I was able to come back just recently in June, and of course I got arrested, thrown in jail for 3 months, and now all these charges are getting dismissed and then overturned in our appellate court. So the motive is there, and that's what brings me here to speak with you guys. That's what brings me to be founding this nonprofit, and with everything taken away, I lost a lot of self-worth. Having my family and my kids and my company was my self-worth. So this is how I regained my self-worth and my dignity. And I believe my time is up. Thank you for listening.
Anyone else in the council? State your name and address.
My name is Trey. I do want to exercise my Fourth Amendment right. I do not want to give my address. I just want to speak real quick about a few things. I am a gun rights activist, and I do open carry demonstrations around the Cedar Rapids, Marion area. I also go out of state where it is legal to do these things. Wisconsin, Texas, and Oklahoma. I've been to all of those places. I started doing this about 5.5 years ago, and when I first got out here doing this open carry demonstrations where I would have AR-15, extra magazines, pistol on my side, bulletproof vest, the whole get up. I started doing this to show people that the hero likes that gun too, and protectors see value in that firearm, and we can't be demonized by the things that we choose to use to protect the only life that we do have. I got out here in Cedar Rapids early 2000. This was like May 2020, I believe. And I was approached by Cedar Rapids Police Department. They told me right away that I did not have to identify myself, but they would appreciate some cooperation because they got some calls and they wanted to know who I was. So since they gave me an out up front by saying that I did not have to identify myself, I identified myself just to play fair, and I was new to the whole thing, so I wanted to diffuse any potential of a conflict, and so I gave my ID up. Later that same year, late summer, early fall, I did an open carry demonstration here in Marion, Iowa, where I was approached by 3 officers. I cannot pronounce his name. You spell it DJERF. Badge number, what was that badge number? 172. And also Officer Chapman, badge number 208, and Officer, I don't know how to pronounce that, HOTS, HOTS, and whatever badge number for that officer is, 190. They approached me requesting identification, and I told them that I didn't have to do that, but if they were going to force me to, I would like to hear the consequences of me refusing verbally to ID, and if the consequences were scary, then I would ID them because I didn't want any trouble. They proceeded to tell me that I would be arrested, taken down to the station, and I would be somehow identified, and once I was identified and cleared, that I would be free to go. So when I heard that, I didn't want any troubles. I didn't want anyone putting their hands on me, so I gave them my ID. Both of these examples that I'm giving you now are on camera. After that, I did an open carry demonstration. This is about 1.5 years ago in Dubuque, Iowa, the most popular video on my YouTube channel, where I was approached by 2 officers, asked to ID, and I refused, and they allowed me to verbally refuse when they didn't have anything to accuse me of, and they let me go. So I have these examples of how 2 different police departments in Iowa granted me the rights without threat that I have to refuse ID. Marion Police Department did not do that. And in the meantime, while they're forcing me to ID myself, what we're dealing with here is my life in their hands, that if I did not back down, that would have gotten bad. But for what reason? 2 other police departments on camera told me that I did not have to ID myself. So if this is going to be an issue with Marion Police Department constantly fumbling how it is that they handle something like the Second Amendment, which I thought you guys took an oath to protect, I will find out if someone is willing to cross the line, because I will continue to do these open carry demonstrations everywhere that I go. Just September, just this past year, a drunk guy approached me and my cousin doing an open carry demonstration here in Marion. And the police that showed up actually allowed this drunk guy to cause a problem. They asked him to remove himself. They told me and my cousin that we weren't doing anything illegal, that we were free to stay there. The whole time avoiding the fact that this guy was obviously drunk. Trained officers should recognize this. I recognized it. They didn't check. I called for a sobriety test or someone to examine this guy to be sure that he wasn't drunk. Multiple times on camera, nothing happened. Once again, my life is in the hands of foolish people mishandling how this is supposed to go. The whole time, I'm the only good guy on the scene. They completely let this guy go. He drove away, actually, clearly drunk. And I did not get the names of those officers that did that. I was completely engulfed in my YouTube streaming, and I let that one slip away. But Marion Police Department, man, from stories that I've been hearing from my guy and the looks that I've been getting from this guy, as soon as he started speaking, he looked me in my face like I'd done something wrong, and I have nothing to do with what this man has to speak on. But he looked me right in my face. Death stare, 6, 7 seconds long, made me uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on here, but come on, man. You guys took that oath and you appeared to be serious when you did that, so be serious about it when you're dealing with people, because I will be out soliciting hugs from the public while I'm armed to show you guys that good guys like that gun too, okay?
Anyone else address council? Okay, we'll close this part of the meeting. I would just like to ask for some clarification from the staff. There were at least a couple of the speakers referred to other entities or law